Okay guys, so forgive the wind, but I want to do this video real quick because this is really a cool backstory on this, and I'm just going to dive into it. So this truck is known as the Danger Ranger, and don't worry about the Hemi logo. I'm not sure where that came from, but it got picked up at some point in its history. So my buddy Tony, whenever he went through his divorce, he was going through some really hard times. He was between deployments, and he needed a truck that would last him for 6 months. He bought this for like $500. It just wouldn't die. He used it for 6-7 years and just kept on tanking. The original transmission started squalling really bad. He got remarried, had a family, and he upgraded to a new truck, and it sat and sat and sat. Well, at some point in time, I said, hey, I was in the middle of PCSing from Fort Drum. I'd brought everything back to our home state, and we really needed something to get me back up Interstate 81, and a rental car was going to be about $500. And I said, hey, do you still have the Ranger that hadn't been driven in like 3 years? Well, put some fresh gas in it, fired it up, and I drove it back to Fort Drum. Now, it had gotten hit at some point, and whenever it got rear-ended, the truck was totaled. I think the insurance paid him like $1,800 for the truck. And then he bought it back for like $300, and he put a blue bed on it. I ended up repainting the bed with just some O'Reilly's match paint. As you can tell, it's slightly different, but not too bad from 10 feet away. And I started modifying it. So first thing I did was replace the transmission, which the pilot bearing was squalling really bad on it. In the process, put a new clutch in it. And then at the same guy that had the transmission also had an Explorer 8A rear end with 373 gears, limited slip, disc brakes. I think I got the transmission and rear end for like $400. The truck had, I think, 342s on it, and being a 4-cylinder made a big difference. It was able to actually keep up in traffic and pull hills in 5th gear because this was a 2.3 truck. It's a 93. So then we started going deeper down the rabbit hole, and I bought a turbo coupe engine for it. Started the swap. First I took the turbo off, dialed down the boost, and put it on the NA setup. I was running like 5-6 pounds of boost on it. Nothing too crazy. But in the process, me and Tony did some trading. He took the Ranger back, and he had a buddy at the local machine shop who's going through a tech school right now. Completely rebuild the Ranger roller head, new cam bearings in it, resurfaced the whole 9 because the bottom end was still in really good shape. And this is where we stand now. So as you can see, we've got a little powder coating done. That is the IHI turbo, so a very small turbo. It's a big VAM or airflow meter. And it being out of a 88 turbo coupe, it also has the top mount intercooler. It will get a front mount at some point in time. Now with these guys, if you're gonna run with the IHI turbo on the stock manifold, there's just no clearance there for the box. So we may eventually swap that manifold out and probably will go to like a T3 turbo on it. But for right now, we're just trying to get it up on the road and running, so we've got both of those removed. It probably never will have AC in it again, but definitely heat. So as far as the inside goes, and the body is kind of rough, but hey, it's rust free as far as North Carolina goes. So I swapped the interior out of an Edge, and and you can tell it needs to be cleaned, but the seats are in there. That is a Taurus fan, if I remember correctly. And once again, it is a 5-speed. It also did not have the original tachometer on the gauge cluster. I picked a gauge cluster up out of a boneyard for I think like $35. Wired it in, everything plugged and played, and boom, we have a tachometer now. And that does work with the turbo coupe ECU. So we have started this engine, we have ran it, but we still got some of the wiring to figure out, and that's why it's not driver ready right now. But overall, this has been a really fun project. Definitely going to have a lot more on it coming very soon. Can't wait to get it cleaned up, get all the pine needles and junk out of the bed where it's been sitting. And yeah, if you guys have any comments or suggestions, stuff you'd like to see happen with this truck, let us know. That is an R1 transmission in it, so we're not going to go too crazy with the power levels. And as you can tell, that battery is now 7 years old. So I've got it on the charger just for the heck of it. That way we can crank it over every now and then, keep everything lubricated until we get the time to actually finish it. But definitely got to get that wiring cleaned up, and that's where we stand. Oh, the rims. Yeah, the rims came off of another Ranger. I think I paid like $75 for the set, and the tires are mismatched. So that's going to be another project for another day. So as far as the exhaust goes, we're probably going to run I don't know if you can see the downpipe really well under here. So it's going to be really dark, guys. Bear with me. We have it into kind of a fake converter right here. The converter is still somewhat working, but definitely not adequate for this application. It's a good little muffler though. I have a Flowmaster 40 series. It's a 3-inch in and dual out. I think we're going to do 3-inch all the way back to the axle, split it, and maybe do something really small, maybe like a 2-inch dual outlet or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll play around with it. I kind of like it being a sleeper. So anyway, guys, this wind's really annoying. I've been working for the last 3 days. I think I've done like 38 hours in 3 days at this point. So thanks again for watching. Sorry it's got a rough video, but I was just excited to get it back. I really wanted just to kind of touch base and, you know, show what we've got going on. Tony powder coated this himself, by the way. I'm gonna try to pull the junk out of the way so you can see it. He did a phenomenal job. This was when he just was getting started with it. And he does both welding, fabrication, and powder coating now. So if you guys are in the North Carolina area, especially the Fayetteville area, don't hesitate to hit him up. I can put a plug in the next video, and that way if you're trying to reach out for him, you'll have that opportunity. Thanks again for watching, guys. As always, I appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe. And remember, be nice to each other. COVID's hitting everybody. Things are crazy right now. Just try to be a little more patient with everybody. You don't know what that guy next to you is going through. Just be nice. And please, leave it in the comments if you guys have suggestions, and let me know what direction you want to see this thing. Not an LS swap, the 2.3 staying in it. Have a good day.